We've covered a lot on the show today. Welcome back to the Yaffee program, News Talk 770 AM 92.5 FM WVNN. By the way, real quick, we talk a lot about the problems in our healthcare system throughout this show. It can be even worse if you're 65 years or older. Maybe you are, or you have a family member who is, and you deal with just having to navigate it. It's a problem. You have to go to one place for a checkup, another place for labs, another place for a screening. Well, if you're like that and you want to find something better, let me tell you about something better. My good friends at VIP Care. Go to getvipcare.com. That's getvipcare.com, and you can find a clinic for you. Now, why choose VIP Care? Well, they don't just treat illnesses and symptoms. They find out what's causing them. Their doctors listen, ask questions, and work with you to create a care plan that fits your needs. So go to getvipcare.com, make an appointment. They have locations throughout Alabama, including right here in Huntsville, to help you out or help your family member out. When you do, let them know Yaffee was the one who sent you. All right, let's end the show like we usually do. We have the Yaffee program rewind. All right, so it's that time of the show where I remind you, if you missed any of it live, well, the podcast would be up on the website, WVNN.com, or anywhere you get your podcast. I'm just trying to remember everything I talked about today because there's so much going on. I mean, really, the beginning of the show, there were three major foreign policy stories that are getting a lot of attention. And one has to do with the fact that Trump says that they have agreed with Hamas, where Hamas has agreed to a broad plan to disarm. Now, you probably read that and say, haha, that's never going to happen. But I also thought about the same thing about ending the war and getting the hostages back. Well, they got all the hostages back, incredibly. So if Trump can help get that done, well, then he can help get this done, I think. At least it's possible. I have to give him the benefit of the doubt there. So we talked about that. We also talked about the migrant crisis in Spain, where video yesterday surfaced, went viral, where 49,000 migrants from Morocco stormed the border there. I guess it was actually next to the water, and just wanted to go in and say, claim asylum. And apparently it's because of immigration laws. And you'll notice that there is a pretty big border fence there, which shows that having a fence or a wall is not enough. You have to have enforcement inside the country, and you have to have immigration policies that make sense so you don't become a magnet for migrants like they have in Spain. So it's just kind of an example. We need to learn from them, and that's why you support ICE here and so forth. That's why you have. There are some Democrats say, yeah, we can secure the border, but we don't want ICE. We want to abolish ICE. No, you need all of the above to really have an effective strategy. And this is an example of why that's necessary. So we talked about that. Also, the latest in Iran, where Trump has upped strikes against Iran. He says it's going well now. Now, U.S. Senator Katie Britt supports him on this. Play Katie Britt cut 2 for me, Walker, if you can.
Look, obviously we want to see resolution there. It is my opinion that this was 47 years too late in taking action. I appreciate President Trump holding Iran accountable. He clearly wants resolution to this, obviously was willing to enter into the MOU. It was Iran that chose to walk away from that. And President Trump has said, we're not gonna let that happen. We're gonna hold you accountable. They have had a murderous regime for 47 years that has enacted terror on Americans and our allies abroad. That must come to an end. So I think that we have made significant strides in diminishing their capabilities. I appreciate President Trump's leadership on that. And ultimately, we want to make sure that there is a peaceful resolution to that. That's what President Trump wants. But ultimately, that decision is Iran's.
All right, so we talked about that. The podcast is up. We had the Alabama bullet points, the top stories from around the state. We also had Brad Presnall come on. He's a political consultant. He talked about an op-ed from Tommy Tuberville and some of the great work Tuberville is doing in the Senate. And speaking of that, Tuberville is exactly right on Social Security. Let me play some of these cuts again. Play cut 1 of Tuberville for me.
I want to talk about a subject people just love to talk about. Come to the floor to talk about a big scam in our country. It's happening in broad daylight before our very eyes. Politicians here in Washington know what's going on, but they refuse to speak about it. They're too worried about getting reelected in most cases. And they think telling the truth about the scam will hurt their chances in staying in power. Well, here's the sad truth. For decades now, the American people have paid into Social Security each month without having any idea if they will ever see a cent of the money that they put in. Since being signed into law in 1935 by Franklin Delano Roosevelt, our great president, Americans' money has been going in the front door of the federal government and then going right out the back door. Your dollar doesn't grow, and it doesn't come back to you or your children. It's a big, gigantic, blown-up Ponzi scheme. And the last time I looked, people who do Ponzi schemes usually go to jail. Every American is forced to participate in it. You got no choice. You don't have a say of the matter, whether you're 17 or 67.
I mean, he's right. And he talked about some potential solutions. So we had that earlier. We also had the legendary Will Hampson on. He's the official D.C. insider of the show, talking about how the Republicans in the Senate can't seem to accomplish anything. We also talked about Doug Jones wanting to get rid of the Choose Act, which of course he does. He's a Democrat. He wants everything just to be public schools. So we talked about that. We had What's Trending with Walker as well, the podcast of everything up on the website, WVNN.com. Thanks to Walker for producing today. Thanks to you for listening. The Vince Show is coming up next, and I'll be back on Monday at the same time. See you then.
The Yaffee Program.
Jim Rome takes on sports.
I will always have a complicated relationship with this game, but people evolve. So do sports. Do not make me regret this. Do not make me devolve back to that guy that so many clones wish that I still was. And do not embarrass the entire country. Now, I can go back. I can get there fast. Lose tonight, and you got a real problem. Do not blow it.
The Jim Rome Show podcast.
You've been warned.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform. Jim Rome takes on sports.
I will always have a complicated relationship with this game, but people evolve. So do sports. Do not make me regret this. Do not make me devolve back to that guy that so many clones wish that I still was. And do not embarrass the entire country. Now, I can go back. I can get there fast. Lose tonight, and you got a real problem. Do not blow it.
The Jim Rome Show podcast.
You've been warned.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.